Judge Paige Reese Whitaker warns prosecutors from Fani Willis's office that they're on thin ice, so they better get their ducks in a row or else face a mistrial in the Fulton County Young Thug YSL trial. Check this out.
Now, for the first time, we're getting another expert. Okay. Never gave us this information before.
Young Thug's attorney Brian Steele is once again crying foul and accusing prosecutors of not following court rules when it comes to sharing evidence in the high-profile racketeering case. The state pushed back on the allegations by the rapper's attorney, whose real name is Jeffrey Williams.
To say it's bad faith would mean that we held it back for, that's still not the only definition of bad faith, but we did not hold it back we did not intentionally keep it from them.
Attorneys for the other 5 defendants quickly chimed in, saying former Chief Superior Court Judge Glanville, who was removed from the case, had already admonished the state for the very same practices during the 19-month trial.
And how many times can you say, oops? How many times can you repeatedly, systematically make the same mistake as an experienced litigator?
By Wednesday afternoon, the 3rd judge to preside over the drug and racketeering trial appeared to give prosecutors a break.
You better make sure you have got all your ducks in a row and you have shared those ducks and ducklings with the defense.
So the judge is giving Fani Willis's prosecutors an ultimatum. Turn over all the evidence against rapper Young Thug, whose legal name is Jeffrey Williams, and his associates to defense attorneys by the end of the week or face a mistrial. But really, guys, the part that convinced me that this is a whole train wreck by the Fulton County DA's office was this. Judge Whitaker ordering them to watch a training video on the importance of sharing evidence with defense attorneys and other professional obligations. Trial and appellate attorney Andrew Fleischman said that it's unprecedented in the state of Georgia, that it's embarrassing, and it does indicate that the state is just not following its Brady obligations. You see, guys, Brady obligations happen when prosecutors fail to turn over evidence that could be helpful to a defendant's case. Former DeKalb District Attorney Robert James said as a prosecutor, the disclosure of Brady material is not something you play with. He even said that Brady is one of those things that's sacrosanct. If you have it, turn it over. So at this point, if the judge does get rid of the 2 prosecutors, then why doesn't she just go ahead and declare a mistrial? I mean, too many people, even legal experts, have called this a clown show from day one. You know what I mean, right, guys? Former DeKalb DA J. Tom Morgan, who teaches undergrad students at Western Carolina University, seemed to blame it all on Fani Willis herself, saying that it's ultimately the DA's job to educate their prosecutors about the importance of turning over such material. Now, with this and her questionable case against former President Donald Trump, many people are now saying that she should have been disbarred already. And it's not hard to see corruption running strong in these courtrooms. So yeah, like I said, absolute train wreck, not to mention a growing embarrassment for the Fulton County justice system. A friend of mine who's a retired deputy sheriff said that he's never seen a more corrupt case in his life, and that Fulton County should be ashamed of itself. Do you guys agree? Oh, and did you hear about this one? Several defense attorneys also brought up and loudly complained about a second ex parte or secret meeting between the judge who was originally assigned to the case, Fulton County Superior Court Judge Glanville, and state prosecutors. Yeah, for real. Check this out.
Young Thug's attorney, Brian Steele, asked Judge Paige Whitaker to dismiss the entire indictment against his client. Also today, defense attorneys loudly complained about a second ex parte meeting just revealed with original Judge Glanville and state prosecutors without the defense being present.
We need to revisit everything. This is broken, and it's not okay. It's not okay. It's offensive. And it's not your fault, Judge. You didn't do this. I'm not trying to raise my voice at you. I'm heated right now.
I can tell.
My steam's been coming off my bald head all night.
Commenting on the whole thing is no less than former President Donald Trump. In his recent interview with Gen Z streamer and influencer Aiden Ross, Trump said that Young Thug was being treated unfairly. Here, check this out.
So I know Fani Willis has treated you very unfair. I have a friend who's currently being treated unfair by her. He's a rapper named Young Thug.
Yeah.
And I
heard that, actually.
Yeah, I just was wondering if there's a way that we can make sure he gets treated fair, that's all.
So I've heard about him, and I heard he's being treated very unfairly by her. Yeah. And I would tell her she's got to treat these patriots that are being all terrible. They're going after him. And I hear Young Thug is being treated, I heard the name.
Yeah.
I heard it from other people where they say he's being treated very unfairly.
Very unfair.
So he's got to be treated fairly.
And having dealt with Fulton County DA Fani Willis himself, Trump may actually be relating to Young Thug's situation somewhat. So Ross asked Donald Trump if he believed that she was unfair to him. He said, well, not only him, but there were many people. She wanted to indict a senator, a couple of senators that had nothing to do with it. As for Young Thug, he said that he heard it from other people that Young Thug's being treated unfairly. So he's got to be treated fairly, at least according to our former commander-in-chief. All the details and more in today's video, guys. Do not go away. Let's go ahead and jump right in. So yeah, like I said, Judge Paige Reese Whitaker, she is warning Fani Willis's office they're skating on thin ice. The Fulton County Superior Court judge gave prosecutors in the YSL trial an ultimatum: turn over all the evidence against rapper Young Thug, whose legal name is Jeffrey Williams, and his associates to defense attorneys by the end of the week or face a mistrial. So here's the latest twist in this ongoing racketeering case, which has seen its fair share of drama since last month. So that's when the then presiding judge was replaced or removed after holding a secret private meeting with prosecutors and witness Kenneth Copeland excluding defense attorneys, a move that sparked a lot of controversy and it led to his removal. Now, following a brief period under another judge who also stepped aside because of another potential conflict of interest, the case ultimately found its way into the hands of Judge Whitaker. And let me tell you guys, Judge Whitaker is known for her no-nonsense approach. In fact, she immediately made her presence felt, holding both the prosecutors and the defense to a high standard. And Fani Willis's office sure was not ready for her. In the latest developments, Whitaker's focus shifted to allegations from the defense that the Fulton County District Attorney's Office was playing fast and loose with the court rules. As the day unfolded, the prosecutors tried to provide proof to kind of ease some of the judge's concerns by showing that they were, in fact, disclosing all evidence in this extensive case. Now, this appeared to ease the tension in the courtroom, and Judge Whitaker kind of backed off the topic, at least for a moment. Nevertheless, Judge Whitaker voiced her concerns about how the prosecution was acting. She even suggested that they were treading dangerously close to violating judicial standards, that the state, i.e. Fani Willis's office, was operating on thin ice and might not have been following the law or the rules of judicial conduct. And this is why she had to reiterate her warnings to the prosecutors that they need to organize their case properly. Defense attorney Brian Steele, representing Williams, shared his frustrations pretty openly in court, saying that it was painful and it took days for them to get information. And now they're getting information on another expert that they never had before. So one of the prosecutors, Adrian Love, tried to defend their office, saying that any oversight was unintentional. Now, according to Adrian Love, to say bad faith, they did not intentionally keep it from the defense. But this is not the first time though. In fact, the other defense attorneys even said former Chief Superior Court Judge Glanville, who was originally presiding over the case, had already admonished the state for the same practice during the 19-month trial. Attorney Nicole Westmoreland, representing co-defendant Quantarius Nichols, had a very good point here. How many times can you say oops as an experienced litigator? And I think Judge Whitaker was inclined to agree with them. Short of declaring a mistrial, she gave them an ultimatum. By Friday at noon, it is important to have all their ducks and ducklings in a row, the way they all should be sharing all evidence with the defense. But what really got people's attention was Whitaker's adding that the prosecution, i.e. Fani Willis's office, should be watching a training video on the importance of sharing evidence with defense attorneys and other professional obligations. I mean, it's kind of like she's sending them back to day one. In fact, other legal experts commented that shouldn't it have been DA Fani Willis herself teaching these prosecutors these things? No wonder Donald Trump said that they were being unfair on Young Thug. Now, don't go away, guys. We're about halfway through this video, and there's so much more we need to talk about. But just a quick reminder, if you haven't already, I highly recommend subscribing to the channel and tapping that notification bell. Totally free to do so. Helps out the community a ton. And while you guys are at it, don't forget to hit the like button. It lets the YouTube algorithm know that you want more content like this, and it also helps us reach more like-minded people like you. That way we can grow our community of truth here on YouTube. All right, guys, so let's continue. So yeah, Judge Whitaker just slapped the prosecutors from Fani Willis's office with a major order telling them to watch a training video on why they should really be sharing evidence with defense attorneys. Now, several Atlanta attorneys and former prosecutors said that they've never seen a judge mandate a training video and that they would be mortified by such a remedy. Former DeKalb DA J. Tom Morgan, who teaches undergrad students at Western Carolina University, added that it's ultimately the DA's job to educate their prosecutors about the importance of turning over such material, and that probably as a prosecutor, Whitaker might be what he called a little perturbed about what's happening in the courtroom and maybe trying to ensure that if there is a conviction, it won't be overturned on appeal. So yeah, definitely sounds like a typical Fani Willis case. So they're rushing and they're making all sorts of mistakes only for it to turn up on appeal. Like with former President Donald Trump's election interference case in Fulton County. Really, I mean, did you hear about the ex parte meeting with the former presiding judge Glanville had with the prosecution and key witness Kenneth Copeland? That was a big one. But surprise, surprise, the defense just found out that there was a second ex parte or secret meeting between Glanville and state prosecutors. And so this is why President Donald Trump says Young Thug is being treated unfairly in his interview with Gen Z streamer Aiden Ross. In the midst of discussing Donald Trump's legal woes, Ross shifted the focus to Fani Willis, the Fulton County District Attorney spearheading an investigation into Donald Trump's post-2020 election conduct. So Willis pursued indictments against Donald Trump and 18 others for allegedly participating in a sprawling scheme to illegally try to overturn the 2020 presidential election in Georgia. Now, among these, 4 defendants have already pled guilty, securing plea deals. Meanwhile, Donald Trump, alongside others, maintained his innocence and have pleaded not guilty. Trump brought up the fact that Fulton County DA goes by the name Fani, even though it's F-A-N-I, and she wants it pronounced Fani, like French, with a little French accent. I don't know. I'm not doing all that. He also brought up her lover, Wade. He called them Mr. and Mrs. Wade. According to the complaint filed by Donald Trump's legal team, Willis hired Wade as a special prosecutor for the case because of their romantic relationship and that he really wasn't qualified for the job. Now, the drama took a turn for the worse when Fulton County Judge Scott McAfee decreed that either Willis or Wade has to step aside for the case to continue with Donald Trump. Subsequently, Nathan Wade resigned in the interest of democracy, as he put it. Donald Trump, pressed by Ross on whether he felt unfairly targeted by Willis, suggested that her bias wasn't limited to him alone, hinting at her broader ambitions involving other senators. Trump said that she wanted to indict a couple of senators, that had nothing to do with it. And as for Young Thug, Trump said that he heard it from other people that Young Thug is being treated unfairly. So he's got to be treated fairly according to Trump. Now, more on this and the latest political happenings on the next video. Do not miss it, guys. In fact, while you guys are waiting for that, make sure to check out my other video where we talked about Kamala Harris's biggest campaign mistake, which is her choice of VP, Minnesota Governor Tim Walz. Definitely a must watch after this one, guys. So yeah, thanks so much for watching. Thanks for subscribing and sharing this video, and I'll see you on the next one.